Well, good morning. It is a Monday morning. It is September 10th already, and we're glad you're with us. This is WGTV Today. My name is Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best.
Hiya, Kim.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Great for a Monday morning.
What a great week we have weather-wise this week. It's going to be cooler temperatures, fair skies, and all that stuff. Just a great week to do things, right?
That's perfect weather.
Yeah.
North Carolina has great weather anyway.
It does. You know, we have a full load of people to hear from today. We've got a great program set up for you. We're going to hear from a bunch of people.
Absolutely. Well, first, Wayne, I want to give the citizens an opportunity. If you are interested in the Center Street Streetscape Project,
right,
if you'd like to have weekly or bi-weekly updates, the City of Goldsboro has a way for you to find out information.
Okay.
On the city's website, which is www.goldsboronc.gov. We have a button that you can click on. It's a big orange button that says Streetscape Project.
Okay.
Updates.
A big orange button.
Nice big orange button.
Big orange.
If you click on that, you will have information provided for you from, we have bi-weekly video updates. We have pictures of the project that are taken on a daily basis that we continually update on our Streetscape Project page. So that is a way that people can continue to look from home. We have a webcam where you can actually look at your webcam minute by minute and see what's going on. So there's three different options: pictures, video updates, bi-weekly with the project manager, and other information provided right there on the city's website.
Well, that's great. That's great. What is that website address again?
That is goldsboronc.gov.
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 Well, that's easy
right on
to
the
remember.
homepage, orange button, Streetscape Project Update.
All right, very good, Kim. We're coming up on 3 minutes after 7 o'clock, and we'll be with you until 8 o'clock. We've got the sheriff to talk to this morning. We're going to talk about weapons and guns this morning. We've got Eileen Coit to talk about an experience with West Nile virus. And what else is going on?
Protect yourself, and Stephen Cross.
Oh, Stephen Cross from the IT department here at
the county.
At the Wayne County government. And just a full program. Right?
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. That's right. I'm Wayne and she's Kim, right?
As far as I know.
As far as I know. All right. We're going to start with the sheriff of Wayne County. Sheriff Kerry Winters on the program with us.
Doing great. Good to be here. All right. Let's talk about, we're going to change the subject here a little bit. I want to talk about weapons, guns, if you will. Right. Following the tragedy in Aurora and following the tragedies that have taken place across the country over the last several years, there seems to be, well, there's a lot of discussion about guns. I want to ask you about the Castle Law. The Castle Law in North Carolina is the stand your ground law.
Similar, yes.
We have a stand your ground law here in North Carolina. Now, what does that mean?
That means you can use deadly force against somebody in defense of another person, basically, or if you feel that you're being threatened. And of course, as you can see, what it's going to be, you're going to be investigated when you do that. It's pretty clear if you're in your own home, somebody's coming in your home to do you harm, and you can use deadly force at that time. Because it expanded the intruder bill action. The intruder bill, used to, as I've tried to explain to people, is real different. It's real hard to understand. And when we do community crime watches, a lot of people say, some people say, well, when can I use force on someone? When can I shoot somebody? When is it legal? That's the first thing somebody asks. And, we don't want to give it legal advice on it. We just say, you got to use common sense. But I will tell you some of the laws there. You're there to your home. You wake up in the middle of the night. You hear somebody in your house. And you go to the living room, and they're your TV, and they're walking out the door with them. Shoot or don't shoot. Some people say, shoot. Wrong. You're not in imminent danger.
You can't shoot them.
No, you're not
because they're not threatening you.
They're not threatening. You're stealing your stuff. Now, unless he turned around and said, I'm going to kill you if I don't, you let me take this TV, or he looks like he or she looks like they're going to take a weapon and kill you.
Or if they try to hit you over the head with that TV.
That turned the table then.
Okay.
Same thing if you wake up in the middle of the night, somebody's out there starting your car up, and you shoot them. Well, actually, they were stealing your car, but you won't in imminent danger. That'll be determined, but actually not in imminent danger. The intruder bill, though, turns right back around, and you're same scenario. You're in the house. Now, this guy may be planning to break in your house and steal your TV that night, and you hear somebody coming through the door. You don't know who it is. You know they've not yelled police, search warrant, nothing like that. You have a legal right. I mean, legal right. You know, you have that right to defend yourself.
And is that because you don't know whether he has a weapon or not?
That's right. They're coming through the door.
You would have to consider the worst in that particular case.
And I assure you, everything's going to be investigated anyway. I'll tell you that.
You're going to be investigated.
It's going to be
regardless.
investigated.
Okay.
But those are some scenarios, and the Catholic doctrine goes a little bit further, and it doesn't have to be at your home. So it does go a little bit further on that.
Well, you said it's common sense. It's whatever is common sense. And it depends on, I would guess, how law enforcement or how a judge would look at it. If you feel that your life is in danger, you have the right to defend yourself.
And I guess that would come up, let's say, now we just said that, but let's say, everybody said, well, why would you make a law like that? Let's talk about, everybody said why you would come up with a law such as this. Well, why would you need a law? And let's say that you had a concealed weapon carried permit, or you wanted to carry it in plain view, which you could. And let's say that you were in a parking lot somewhere, you got out to go inside and say, let's say example, you got a concealed carry. You get out of the car, you stop by, you're going to stop by and get your hamburger or whatever. Got the baby inside, your wife's inside. You go inside to get your hamburger, and all of a sudden you see guys outside, got a gun, they're getting in your car to throw your wife out on the pavement, to get ready to take off with your car with your baby in the back. That would give you the right to defend
Your family.
That's exactly right, even though you're not home.
Right. What if it's a total stranger and you see a total stranger being attacked with the possibility that that stranger is in danger of bodily harm?
Yeah, that would be it.
That would apply.
That would apply.
You have the right to defend that
You have the
total
right to
stranger.
defend others, right.
Is there anywhere you would not be able to defend yourself? It's not a trick question.
You got to give me some examples. I mean,
Well, you should be able to defend yourself just about anywhere, should you not?
you should
Anywhere
be,
where you're legally allowed to carry
right,
a weapon.
Right, but we encourage people, if you got the opportunity. There's no law, and this law doesn't have a retreat clause in it. Excuse me, you say you want to, that you are going to confront this situation. I'm not backing down. Well, that's the only part of real. Yeah, maybe you ought to retreat, call 911. That's what I suggest people do. If you got an opportunity to my opinion, if you got an opportunity to back away, call 911, retreat, get the police there to handle it, or the sheriff's office, law enforcement period, that is the best option for you. Now, if you're in a situation that you can't retreat, you're backed in the corner, you ain't got a choice, that's a different story. And that's what I look at there.
So if you have an opportunity to back away, that's the best thing
Yeah,
to
you
do.
got all the information, this is, and then you back away, whatever. So, well, this guy here, this is the car he's driving, this is license plate
Right.
number. He come out threatening me with a gun, says he's going to kill me. The police can investigate it, give them information, even get the photo lineups or whatever. You can pull off DMV if that's the person driving the car. Do a lineup, this is the person driving, yes, that's him. And there you got it, you get your warrant.
Okay.
So, that's, to me, if you can call and get law enforcement there, you got time. I'm not telling people not to defend themselves, but I said, oftentimes, it's better to have us involved than you trying to do it yourself.
Right.
Save you a lot of heartache, save you time from going to court, being whatever.
All right. Moving along, let's talk about weapons and guns and such. The right to bear arms. Everybody has that constitutional right here in the U.S. Some states' laws will vary from state to state.
And they sure will, and they will vary. And even if you got a concealed weapon permit here in North Carolina, they may not be a reciprocal agreement with another state. At one time, you had some states. I won't say South Carolina, I think they are now. But you had like, Georgia would agree to it, ours, but South Carolina wouldn't. So, but you had to go through South Carolina to get
To Georgia, yeah.
I think they're online now.
Yeah.
Same thing with Virginia and that. So you might have had some reciprocal agreements with states in between each other. So they're trying to get that more worked out. But you have some absolute states that says no. Even if you go to New York, that's probably a no-no. If you gotta, it won't work. So I tell people when you're traveling, you better look at their gun laws. You can certainly, especially if you go across the border.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot of stories on that. You go to Canada, and if you got a weapon and they ask you to declare it, or do you have anything to declare, and you got a weapon, you better be declaring it.
You better declare it.
You better declare it. If you don't know what that means, you better look it up. Because I've known to see people didn't know what that means. Declare what?
So,
And I've seen when they had, heard stories where they had them on the dash, and the Mountie would ask them, "Do you have anything to declare?" No. And when they crossed over, they're surrounded because they didn't declare that gun that was sitting on the dash. Didn't know what that declared means.
so it would certainly, pardon me, it would certainly be advisable to check gun laws
In
before you
other
do
states.
any travel.
That's right. But now, in North Carolina, getting back to North Carolina, you can carry a weapon. You got two types. Concealed weapon permits, carry permits. Person can carry it concealed. Of course, businesses and other places, even some cities have passed ordinances, you can't have it. So,
Right.
you need to look at that city, but and some of them will be challenged on that. But businesses certainly can. If you walk in and it's got no concealed weapons, you shouldn't be carrying it in there.
Right.
However, you may not know you got it if it's concealed. But now, it's certainly if you're carrying one, you can carry one in the public open. And
We are an open carry state,
You are
which
open
means
carry
that you
state.
you have a legal right to walk down the street with a weapon on your hip.
Right. But again, there are certain areas you can. Not going to be walking into the courthouse in one.
No.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be able to walk in City Hall. You might could walk down the sidewalk. A business can deem, says you're not coming in here. And some people say, well, I thought that was to the public. No, that business is privately owned business. They can tell you can come in, you can't come in. So if they tell you got to leave, you got to leave. If you don't leave, it's trespassing. So those are some things that a lot of people may not know. Well, I thought I could carry my gun anywhere I wanted to.
Today we're talking with Eileen Court, the livestock specialist with the Cooperative Extension Service here in Wayne County. And Eileen, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Wayne.
A lot of concern here of late. People frightened about the West Nile virus and other of that type thing that continues to make news. And is any of this ever real, the way it's presented? Is it sometimes blown out of proportion? Is it sometimes not enough information? What's your take on all that?
Well, West Nile is very, very real. From what I understand, more recently there's been a larger problem with it down, in the Texas area and on that part of the country. However, we know that it's hit us right here in Wayne County, and we've got to be careful. We've got to, with all the rain that we've had recently.
And the mild winter.
We've been fortunate to have a lot of rain, but what comes with that is standing water in places, and that's where mosquitoes are going to breed, and that's where West Nile comes from.
And therein lies the direction we want to go, because you're a livestock specialist, so people are wondering, well, why are we talking about West Nile? But there's a direct connection.
There is. West Nile is not only dangerous for humans, but it's a major threat to horses. So anyone that, or other equines, there is a West Nile vaccine that you can give your horses or donkeys or mules. There's also, West Nile is a type of encephalomyelitis. I know that's a long word, but historically, before West Nile was talked about so much, or before we learned more about it, we had some vaccines called Eastern equine encephalomyelitis and Western equine encephalomyelitis, and then there's a Venezuelan strain. So, but the Eastern strain, of course, is the one that's more dangerous to our horses.
Right.
And horse owners should be vaccinating every 6 months for the encephalitis and also for the West Nile.
Okay, let's get back to plain English.
Okay.
If we could. West Nile virus, of course, can cause tragedy among the population, and even more so among horses and livestock and such. So we need to be concerned. How do we fight it on the farms? How do we get rid of the mosquitoes?
Okay.
Is there
Right.
some suggestions you can make?
Yes, yes. The most important thing is making sure if there's anything that doesn't need to have water sitting in it, dump it out, or turn it over to where it's not going to collect water.
Right.
Of course, if you've got animals, they've got to have water, so you're going to have water troughs, and you're going to have, your pets will have a water bowl that may also get some rainwater in it, but keeping those clean is going to keep that mosquito larva from hatching,
Okay.
and those mosquitoes actually from showing up.
Anything you can put in there that
So,
wouldn't be harmful to your livestock to help?
There's those mosquito dunks that are those little donut-shaped things that are on the market. They actually have a bacteria in them that eats the mosquito larva. So that can be used. Of course, if you don't feel comfortable with that, or you don't want to go that route, just like I said, maybe not filling a trough all the way full all the time. Have enough in there for your animal to have water, and then you can dump it out more frequently, scrub it out, clean it.
Oh, okay.
And
That's the key, is keeping it
keeping
clean.
it clean.
And if
right.
you want to use do the dunks harm the livestock? Do they
No.
cause any problems?
No.
They don't? Okay, but some people are still not comfortable with them because they're a chemical.
it just sounds, well, it's a bacteria.
It's a bacteria,
Yeah,
yeah,
so it's,
yeah.
but still,
They're not going to harm your animal.
right, right, it should be fine.
All right. So that's the West Nile, and the mosquito generally comes from a mosquito bite.
Right, right. It's actually, West Nile is transferred from, a mosquito will bite an infected bird, actually. The bird is the actual host. And then if the mosquito bites us or bites our horse,
It's transferred over.
Right.
Okay.
That's right. That's kind of how that happens.
we got to do something with birds.
You think? Yeah. And if
Maybe
you find
not.
a dead bird, the birds can be tested to see if West Nile was what killed them.
Don't touch a dead bird. I'm serious. Don't stay away from. Just call somebody.
Birds can carry a lot of different.
Birds carry a lot of
diseases.
stuff.
So
yeah. We're talking about wild birds here.
that's
now.
right.
Right.
That's right.
All right, wild birds out in the wild. So play it safe. Don't take any chances. Stay
Right.
away from dead birds. Don't touch them, but call somebody and say, "I've got a dead bird here. He may have something." And if that's the case, then they'll get rid of it.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other concerns as far as illness to our livestock and our animals? Or is the biggest concern right now the West Nile?
That's probably the biggest concern. Just making sure that you have, when you're outside in the early morning or in the late evening when the mosquitoes are to come out, maybe wear long sleeves or long pants, or use, of course, repellent.
Okay.
And keep those mosquitoes off of you. And hopefully we'll have some cool weather and some drier weather that'll help get rid of them too.
Yes, I hope. All right, we've been talking with Eileen Coit, livestock specialist with the Cooperative Extension Service. I'm Wayne Alley for WGTV.
Joining me on WGTV today is Meg Granate, Promotions Coordinator for DGDC. Welcome, Meg. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm wonderful. We're here today to talk about the G2T2,
Yes.
Greater Goldsboro Think Tank. Tell me what that is and what's the purpose of this group?
So the Greater Goldsboro Think Tank really was the idea of, the Downtown Goldsboro Development Corporation, City of Goldsboro, and East Carolina University. We have a facilitator from ECU that comes once a month to the meetings, and facilitates a group of really diverse individuals from our community to discuss ideas, concerns, you know, generate ideas for things that we could do going forward for our community that'll make it a better place.
So do you have project leaders?
There really aren't project leaders at this point that I know. They haven't specified, you know, who's a leader or anything like that. But ECU is really taking the reins on making sure that people stay focused and that they have a common goal to reach at the end, you know, to generate some really solid ideas that they can all agree upon and take to the next level.
Well, who is the group made up of?
It's really diverse individuals. We had a application process where we asked people, you know, their age, their race, you know, what their profession is, where in the community they live, because we wanted to make sure that we had, you know, not just people who were from downtown or people who were, you know, on the outskirts of Wayne County. You know, we really wanted to make sure that we had a little bit of everything.
It's a total diversity.
It is total diversity.
Wonderful. Well, how has the process been so far?
So far, it's been really great. We've heard wonderful things, not only from the facilitator from ECU, but also from the participants. They say, you know, they say that they're really surprised at how diverse the group is, and you know how many different walks of life are coming together that really seem to have the same concerns for the community.
Well, how long has this been going on?
It's been going on for a few months now, 4 or 5 months, and you know, they meet once a month for about an hour and a half, and you know, they've expressed to us that they are really itching to have more than an hour and a half, but it's something that we're going to tailor as we go forward and just see how this turns out at the end of the year cycle.
So it's a 1-year cycle. And what is the purpose, and what is at the end of this whole procedure, what are your hopes? What do you want to have gained by the end of this?
Well, our hope is that they can generate ideas that they can give to community leaders, and that, you know, because this group is so diverse, it really is a reflection upon our whole community. So hopefully their ideas will be taken into consideration and used going forward for, you know, whether it be when they design new infrastructure or, you know, something they add to our community to bring more people to it.
Right.
You know, just something that'll give them a little bit of new life to their ideas.
So the people that are participants in this group, they're all Wayne County citizens.
Yes.
They went through an application process. They've been meeting for quite a while now. They're generating great ideas. They're extremely diverse. So how can people find out more about the G2T2?
Well, they go to the DGDC website. There's some information there about the Greater Goldsboro Think Tank. And, you know, this is not something we want to stop after year one. We want to get feedback from the individuals who have done this for the entire year and, you know, see how we can improve upon the process and start again. You know, the first round, their question, their main focus is what do they want to see their community look like in 20 years? So round 2 could be a completely different topic that they want to focus on. But we're really just waiting to see how the first year goes, and then we're going to go on with the next one and make it even better.
Will it be the same participants in year 2 or a whole new group?
No, we're hoping to have a whole new group. We really want to make sure that it is fresh and new ideas, and you know, the way to do that is to get new individuals.
So for people who are interested in participating next year, I guess the best thing would be to stay involved with your Facebook page or your dgdc.org website?
Yes, that would be the best way. And you know, we'll publicize it when it comes closer to that time, but you know, if they really want to get the information as it's coming out, you know, just stick with us and they'll see it.
All right, and you'll have new applications coming soon?
Yes.
Wonderful. G2T2, Greater Goldsboro Think Tank.
Yes.
For more information on this, follow the DGDC website. It's dgdc.org or their Facebook page, which is Downtown Goldsboro, correct?
Yes.
Welcome to WGTV Today. I'm Kim Best, and joining me is Sherry Archibald, Director of the Paramount Theater. Good morning, Sherry.
Good morning. How are you, Kim?
I'm great. So glad to have you here this morning to tell us about the Paramount Theater's Performing Arts Series.
Thank you. I know I'm very excited about it. Every year I'm more and more excited about some of the shows that we have coming up. But this lineup has so much variety in it. So much fun. We do have a lot of comedy.
Yes, you do.
I'm trying not to get too excited about the comedy when we start preparing, but everybody loves it, and so you can't help but just kind of steal away into
And
that.
it's fun to relax and to go to something that does make you laugh. It's good for the soul.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So our series starts. This is our 5th annual, which is
amazing.
hard to believe.
It's
And
amazing.
Incorporated in that is our gala, which is going to be a happy anniversary to us, and
Absolutely.
we're so excited to share that with our community.
5 years?
5 years. It's
How
really
quickly
hard to
time
believe.
passes.
It really is. But we're starting it off with a performance called the Jason Bishop Show. And this performance is with an illusionist who does a double levitation. I've seen him perform, and I've of course seen a lot of information on him as well through some of the different arts markets that I have been to. And so he's young, hip.
One man show?
Well, and of course this female that he has doing the double levitation.
Yeah.
But yeah, the two of them basically are doing everything. And we had an illusionist with our series a couple years ago. We had a sellout. Again, it's just so much fun. It's a great family night too.
Yeah.
But this time, and trying to look at just something a little different. I love the illusionist. And Vincent and I kind of questioned, do we want to bring back another illusionist? It's only been a couple years.
Right.
But this guy's a little different. Kind of the David Copperfield, but just
A little different
a little
feel.
edgier.
Yeah,
He's young.
okay.
So I think it's going to be a really great performance.
Wow. How long do these shows typically last?
Usually just under 2 hours.
Okay.
So, and most of our performances are just under 2 hours with including a 15-minute
Intermission.
You got to have a little break.
Of course.
So, but
And that's what month?
that is in October, and that's our kickoff.
October. Okay.
And our series, this is our 5th one, and it has changed. It's interesting. I was looking before coming to see you this morning at some of our past performances, and it's exciting to see how it's evolving every year.
Oh, yeah.
But our series is, one of the things that I like to share with folks is how unique and different we are now opposed to how we were prior to the fire. You are probably very familiar with so many wonderful groups that we have here that are very talented, and we are able to showcase them and still bring traveling artists who
From all over the world.
are professional and travel all over the world to perform. And for us to be able to bring them right here in our community, it really gives us the best of both worlds,
And how lucky are the citizens of Goldsboro to have this brought right downtown Goldsboro
Exactly.
for us to see things we may never have seen.
Exactly. And, I partner with a lot of different theaters across the state. And it's certainly, it's nice for us to see that we probably will not be bringing the Broadway performances. We can't afford to do that.
Right.
However, we can bring the North Carolina Symphony, and we can bring the Water Coolers, which is a fantastic off-Broadway performance where
Right.
they sing about things that happen to you at the office. So we can bring
Relatable
things that are
things.
exactly.
Yeah.
We can bring things that are just a different caliber of entertainment for us. That you don't have to go to Raleigh, you don't have to go to Clayton to see.
Right.
You don't have to go to Wilmington. I mean, we
But
have
you
them
get
right
high
here.
quality
Exactly.
productions right here in Goldsboro. Well,
Exactly.
tell us about some of the others.
Well, as I said, we start off on October the 5th with the Jason Bishop Show, and then next we have Jeannie Robertson. I don't know if you have heard about her, Kim.
Yes, I have.
We had her a couple years ago, and we did no advertising.
I've met her. And
Oh.
She is a card.
Well, she is a former Miss North
Yes,
Carolina.
she is. Yes, she is.
She's wonderful. She's so funny. It's clean comedy. Folks love her.
Oh, yeah.
And she sells out before we can even
I have
advertise.
to say, I've never met anyone quite like her.
I can
Quite
agree
like
with that
her.
completely.
You are laughing hysterically within 5 minutes of meeting her.
Absolutely. Well, her expressions are
Oh, yeah.
just-
She is. She's great.
She's a lot of fun. So we have her November the 16th, and tickets are going very quickly for that. So,
Okay.
folks, if you are watching this morning, you need to definitely be calling and going online or coming by the theater to get your tickets for that
Well, I think
event.
she has sellouts all over the country.
She does. She's on XM Radio all
Yeah,
the time.
she has a big following.
She does. So that is in November. Also in November, the Tuesday before Lights Up, it has become tradition for us to have the Holiday Pops concert.
Which is beautiful.
It is, and it really puts you in the Christmas
Oh, yeah.
spirit.
What a perfect night.
Well, it's the night of turning all the Christmas lights on. The mayor flips the switch, and we have, of course, trolley rides downtown. So it's a great night to come and really get in the
Will
Christmas
Santa be there
spirit.
with us again this year?
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will.
So they can go downtown to lighting up the tree, and then they can come on over and actually listen to the holiday pops, and then maybe go out to dinner.
Exactly.
Stay all
That's what
downtown.
most folks do. They just stay downtown. They start at 5:30 with the lights. They go to dinner. They come and see the show at 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay, great.
It is on Tuesday, November the 20th. So it's kind of a non-traditional night, but it works perfectly for our tradition.
Yeah.
So that's in November. And December, we have so much going on with our local community that
You
we
do.
don't
Your
have.
calendar is full.
It is full. So our next show that's in the series is in January. She is hilarious. We have a lady by the name of Faye Lane. She has a show called Beauty Shop Stories.
Oh, wow.
And I've seen her on the stage as well, and she is such a card. She's so funny. She likes to tell stories about when she was growing up in Texas and how she loved eating moon pies and talking into her
Hairbrush?
which was a microphone, and how she loves telling stories about.
We've all done that, you know that,
I know.
Sherry.
Well, of course, absolutely. And Barbies, all that good stuff. Absolutely. But she is just hilarious. She likes telling the stories about what she saw and the experiences she had in her mom's beauty shop when she was young. And
How interesting.
it's quite interesting. It's quite funny. It's a great girls' night out, and I really plan to do a lot of pushing in that direction.
Oh, yeah, promote
because
that.
it will be a lot of fun for lots of ladies to come. And I don't mean to take away from all those men who are going to think she's equally hilarious, but it will be a fun girls' night out.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
That's
what
in
a
January.
great lineup.
And then in April we have Shauna Tucker, who is a celloist. I've seen her on the stage too, and she's just wonderful. You can find out more information on our website. And then the last performance is in May with the water coolers. As we talked about, they really tout themselves as being the office to music. If you've seen the show
How
The Office,
interesting. Oh, yes.
it is looking at some of the crazy things that happen in our world, in our office world, but they put it to music, and so it's a lot of fun.
How neat. Well, you have such a diverse lineup here.
We do.
That you have something for everybody in Goldsboro and Wayne County.
That's right.
And like I said, once again, thank you for giving us such a variety right here in our town.
Thank you.
Where we can come to our Paramount Theater and we can see shows and see interesting things that are entertained all over the world, but we get to stay in our own community. Thank you for the quality that you continue
Thank
to
you.
bring and the growth. And now about the gala.
Oh, the gala is in
Yes.
February, and we don't want to miss that. We are going to have a wonderful lineup. A lot of our local community. You'll be able to see the things that are happening on our stage year round. And the good thing and the exciting thing to me is when you can just see kind of a glimpse of it. There's so much that obviously we couldn't get it all on there for a whole performance.
Right.
But you'll be able to see
Just
pieces.
spotlighting.
Exactly. We'll have performances from Stage Struck, Center Stage Theater, Goldsboro Ballet. We'll also have someone from Miss Goldsboro. We've got about 12 lined up right now. And so we're starting to kind of cut things back a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is a time for us to say happy anniversary to our community, to this theater. So many people have really continued to support the theater, and we're excited to be here and be thriving and continue.
5 years.
5 years.
And for those in the community that have not been to the theater, make this the year you go.
Absolutely.
We have a huge variety, a great lineup, and once again, they can go to your website.
Which is goldsboroparamount.com.
Perfect. Thank you, Sherry, for all you do.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing quality once again to the Paramount Theater.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And our guest today is Stephen Cross.
Most people will probably understand, or at least they're more familiar with the term cloud computing, or
You know, people have seen that, but unless you're in the business or unless you're
yeah, you're really
in
not
IT, you're not familiar with cloud computing. Give me a brief overview of cloud computing. What is that?
Cloud computing really is just being able to access all of your applications, all of your software, your email, your files, from anywhere. And the way you do that is you have all of that information put in a centrally located system called a storage area network. Storage area network is really just a bunch of hard drives, storage devices that hold all of the data.
But no, it's not in your computer, is it?
No,
It's your computer is only used to access that information at another location.
yeah. The difference in the way we're doing business today and the way we were doing business before is when you have a regular desktop computer like most users have at home, you're going to have all of the information stored locally on your computer.
Right.
Unless, most people don't realize they use the cloud every day. If you have a Gmail account, that's essentially a cloud service. Your email is really located in a central storage space.
It's in Kansas.
Yeah.
Or Nebraska.
Or Japan or somewhere.
Japan, or
Who knows? Who knows where it is? But
Mars.
it's in the cloud.
It's
in the cloud.
Yeah.
It's out there somewhere. Nobody really knows where
Nobody knows where it is.
But that's what Google is. Google provides a cloud service through Gmail. And they have a thing called Google Apps, which provides something similar to Microsoft Office. It's the same kind of thing. It's not installed on your computer. It's installed out there somewhere, but you have the ability to utilize it.
And it appears to be local, but it isn't.
Yes.
You actually go into your computer and access this from another location.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the nice thing about that is if somebody were to come in and steal one of our devices,
Mhm.
one of these thin clients that we use now instead of a computer system, there is nothing stored on that device. There's no hard drive, there's no moving parts. There's nothing that, if they take that, it's basically a paperweight.
Wow,
If it's
a boat
not-
anchor.
If it is not connected to our network and they're not accessing our equipment, they're not going to get any information. So if somebody were to steal those devices, they would get nothing. Whereas if they stole a laptop or one of our computer systems, anything that was stored in those hard drives, they would have access to.
Access to that. But let me ask you, now, we're talking virtualization, but now what does that mean as far as the hardware, a computer used for virtualization? What's the difference between what we have now and what we had before?
Now, at the desktop.
At the desktop,
user.
yeah.
Well, before, when you had a computer system or a laptop, you would connect to our network, and really what we were providing was an internet connection or connection to our equipment so that you could go to the internet or access shared information. But all of the software, everything was stored locally on that computer system. So we, as the IT department, every time there was an issue, we would have to either physically go to look at the device. In some cases, we could remote in and do some repairs. But a lot of times, we would have to physically go in and fix whatever the problem was. And the other thing is, when you have a computer system, anytime you replace that computer system or buy a new computer system, we have to re-image that system, put our software on it, put our security software on it, like our antivirus and things like that. And it takes about 4 hours to take a brand new system out of the box, put our image on it, and put all of our software on it and issue it out to the user.
Wow, there's a lot of work involved with that. So with all the computers we have in Wayne County, that takes a long time if you have to go in for a 4-hour period on each computer and upgrade and update a new computer and all that. But now, what's new about this? You mentioned a what did you call it? The virtualized computer now that's being used. What's the difference between what's being used now and the old way?
Yeah, well, I do want to add a little bit to that. When you're looking at 4 hours for a computer system, we have laptops as well. So we have around 1,350 devices, computer systems, laptops, and computers.
Wow.
So when you're looking at that, and you're looking on an average of 4 hours to actually take a device out of the box and image it, or if something happens to that device and you have to replace the hard drive and re-image it, you're looking at 4 to 6 hours. And that's complete turnaround time to the user. 1,350 times 4 hours times whatever the average hourly wage is of my staff, it's going to cost a lot of money to maintain those systems.
Yeah.
And computers are anybody that has a computer knows viruses and hard drive crashes and software crashes. It's a constant issue, and we're constantly having to go out there and fix these things. With what we've got now, and we're still in a transition of replacing these because we have so many devices to replace. We're going to have around 550 thin clients by the end of the year, this year, 2012, replacing over 550 desktops. In the end, we're going to have around 800 systems that we're replacing with thin clients. These thin clients now, it takes If we've already implemented a thin client and the user already has been virtualized,
What's a thin
it
client?
takes about 2 minutes.
What's a thin client, huh? Wait a
Takes-
minute, what's a thin client? What does it
Thin
look like?
client, you know, I should have brought one.
What does it look
Actually,
like?
Thin clients are very small devices. They're about that big,
Mm-hmm.
about that wide.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically provide a connection for a mouse, for a monitor, and a keyboard, and a network connection.
And that's it.
That's it. It just provides you, so you have your monitor, your mouse, keyboard, and it provides a connection back to our equipment, to our servers.
It's a small box.
It's a small box. All of the processing, all of the work is done in our data center. So when a user opens up Microsoft Word or Excel or PowerPoint or their Outlook for email, they're actually basically just linking, it's just a link or a connection to our equipment. It opens up on our equipment and provides the image back to the user, but they don't really know any difference. So there is no way for that device to be damaged or the hard drive to fail or anything like that. If we did have to replace the device, if something happened to it and it wasn't powering up anymore or something like that, they're about $250 to replace. A desktop computer is significantly higher than that, and it's a lot more maintenance. Right now, the average computer system with a monitor replacement, because monitors have to be replaced every 5 or 6 years, is around 11, 12, well, anywhere between 900 and 1200, depending on what the computer is going to be used for.
Right.
In the virtual environment, we basically just unplug the device, plug it in, and within minutes they are up and running. The downtime is so minimal when we have a thin client device versus a desktop computer. So much more efficient than how we used to do business. And it really protects all of our information. You know, we have 122,000 taxpayers, or not taxpayers, but we have 122,000 residents in Wayne County. Probably a little bit more than that, and all of their tax information, all of their data goes through our equipment. So we have to have it secure. We have to be able to restore it if something happens, and it's critical that we do that.
I take it there's a redundancy there that protects the information.
Yes, at any type of data center, when you're dealing with information technology, when you're dealing with computers and servers and all of that, you know, all of that stuff that goes into routers and switches and fiber, that you can't just have a data center and then if something happens, you're down, because how many people are relying on that connection? How many people are relying on that to do their job? And how many hourly wages are going to be lost, and man hours are going to be lost if they can't do their work? So we have to have backup systems that kick right in immediately and just allow us to keep working without having to worry about any data loss or any loss in man hours. And for the most part, we have a very, very high percentage of uptime. Very, very, you know, typically if we have a storm, a hurricane, and we lose power, we will have a very small outage, but for the most part, our equipment is up and running 24/7, and very seldom do we have an outage. Thanks for having me.
We've been talking with Stephen Cross. He is the director of the IT department, the Information Technology Department here for the Wayne County government. I'm Wayne Alley for WGTV.
And we are back on this Monday morning. Wayne Alley,
And Kim Best.
thank you for being with us. What's up?
Oh, we have so many good things to talk about today.
We do. What's coming up? We've got...
I believe we have Mark Wilson with Parks and Recreation,
Right?
and he's going to tell us about some exciting things. They have a hay maze and all kinds of pretty cool things that Parks and
right.
Recs is doing. We also have Betsy Roseman with Travel and Tourism.
Great. That's coming up next.
Joining me now, I have Mark Wilson from Goldsboro Parks and Recreation. Welcome, Mark.
Hey there, thank you.
Glad to have you this morning.
Glad to be here.
So Goldsboro Parks and Recs has some interesting things happening this fall.
We sure do, we sure do. The whole month of October, every Friday and Saturday, and on Halloween evening, we're going to have a hay maze on the front lawn of Herman Park Center.
A hay maze?
Yes.
So what will we do with a hay maze? Tell me the activities.
The activities, it's going to be family oriented. Families can show up, there'll be a nominal fee there. The hay maze is going to be huge. It's going to be about 60 by 120 feet.
Wow.
So it's going to be really awesome.
So you'll offer it on Friday and Saturday? Is it during the day or evening?
It's going to be during the day and evening. It's really great. We're looking forward to it. It's something that's going to be very unique to Goldsboro.
And then Halloween evening as well?
Correct.
So that's something unusual that the citizens of Goldsboro can do on the evening of Halloween, and they can find out additional information where?
They can go to our website. It's goldsboroparksandrec.com, and also our Facebook page, facebook.com Goldsboro Parks and Rec.
And I'm sure there'll be lots of interesting pictures on your Facebook page from this event that citizens can
Absolutely.
look at and tag
Absolutely.
themselves.
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Glad to have you. A hay maze at the Goldsboro Parks and Recs. Love to see you there. Welcome back to WGTV Today. I'm Kim Best, and I have with me this morning the Director of Tourism for the City of Goldsboro, Miss Betsy Roseman. Good morning.
Good morning, Kim. How are you?
I'm great. Glad to have you on WGTV.
Well, thank you for having me here.
Oh, absolutely. I want to be able to share with our community all the events that you are promoting for the City of Goldsboro across Wayne County as well. And we have a long list of those, Betsy, don't we?
Well, we have a couple events coming very closely. And then, of course, we have events already planned throughout the year. And,
Absolutely. Well, tell me about Busco Beach. What's going on there?
Well, there's a lot of activity at Busco Beach. We're typically getting about 1,500 to 3,000 riders per weekend, which is phenomenal for the retailers and our hotels in the area.
Are these ATVs they're riding?
They're ATVs. And Busco Beach has about 1,800 acres. And then on August 31st through September 1st, we have AMA, which is American Motorcycle Association. It's a sanctioned event. We'll be having the AMA Extreme Dirt Track competition, and that'll draw riders from probably 10 to 15 states.
Wow, so a lot of their events are not just for Wayne County citizens. I mean, these are events that people travel all over everywhere to come here and compete.
Typically, we have most of our visitation is from Virginia, Tennessee.
Wow.
We do have some from South Carolina and Pennsylvania, and large portion of North Carolina, western North Carolina. But more people from outside come to Busco Beach than the locals.
Right. Okay. Well, how about the Hillbilly Hike that the Parks and Recreation is promoting that's coming up?
Well, we're excited about Hillbilly Hike. It's a new venture. Extreme sports events are very big, especially in North Carolina. And Hillbilly Hike will be an extreme competition. It'll have a 5K. It'll have a float down the river.
It's an obstacle course.
Yes, an obstacle course, and everybody's encouraged to dress up as a hillbilly.
That is hilarious.
And so we're hoping to get a lot of visitation from the western part of the state for that as well.
And I believe they can go on Parks and Rec's Facebook page or website, as well as Travel and Tourism.
Yeah, they can go to
website.
hillbillyhike.com or visit goldsboronc.com.
Oh, that's wonderful. And they can actually register, I believe, complete the registration form on hillbillyhike.com.
Yes.
And they can find out more details. If I'm not mistaken, there is a map, a Google map, that when they click on the different locations, it'll tell more details about every event,
Yes.
every obstacle.
And the event will be held at Waynesboro.
Park?
Waynesboro Park on 117 South.
Okay.
And that will again be September 15th.
Wow, we have all kinds of unusual events here in Goldsboro, but that's what makes it exciting, you know? And then another one we want to talk about is Wayne Regional Agricultural Fair. That's coming up very soon.
The fair will begin on the 27th of September, and I believe it runs through October 6th or 8th. But that is the 4th largest fair in North Carolina, so we're very proud of our
The
fair.
4th largest fair. Wow.
Milton Ingram has done a fantastic job.
Well, we have so many things that are interesting to our community to be able to go and see, from the talent shows to the livestock. I mean, there's just so many creative and unusual things, and it's an opportunity for the people in Wayne County to get to see one another, because you may not run into people, you know, throughout the year, but it draws large crowds, and then we have people from out of the community come as well.
Because we have probably 5 surrounding counties and even further that will come to the fair.
Well, can you tell us who directs the Wayne Regional Agriculture Fair?
That's Milton Ingram.
Okay.
This is his last year. We will miss him dearly. But I hear he's got a pretty decent replacement coming in.
That's great.
And another thing we are excited about is the vendors come in about 4 or 5 days ahead of the fair. And they spend lots of money in Wayne County replenishing their supplies, um, purchasing items that they will need. Some of them actually go out and buy vehicles cash. So I'm sure that
So they're eating at our restaurants, they're visiting our stores, they're spending funds and money here in Wayne County, so that just boosts our economic development as well.
and they load up and then they move on to the next
community.
location. So we're just really excited about the money they put into our economy as well as what the fair generates.
Absolutely. Well, are there any other big events coming up this fall that we need to know about?
Well, Jazz on George will be October 27th, and that is sponsored by the Arts Council and I believe DGDC, and that will be on George Street. And then we have our reenactment of the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge.
That's
will be in
always fun.
December. And then we're already gearing up for our April Pig in the Park.
That was a huge success this
Yes.
year. Huge success. It's growing by leaps and bounds.
This will be our 4th year. I think it's going to be April 13th. We brought in about 7,500 people last year, and we're hoping for about 10,000 this year. And then at the end of the month, we'll have North Carolina Pickle Festival in April, and then May, we've got Wings Over Wayne for 2013.
Wow. So with all of these events, tell me how Travel and Tourism helps promote these events, because I know with all the different events that the community and our departments of Goldsboro promote and sponsor, how does tourism work hand in hand with that?
Well, we market it. We market it to the outside. When you see billboards along the highways, and those are tourism's responsibilities. We advertise in magazines, online, radio, any way we can. Social media is big. One thing I did forget is the Paramount series starts October 5th.
Yes, it does, and they have a great lineup this year.
Great lineup. Sherry has done an excellent job getting that promoted. You'll see those billboards go up shortly soon as well. And one thing we're very excited about is we have a new tourism app. It's In Touch Wayne, and you can download that from the App Store. And basically,
amazing.
It breaks down everything to do in Goldsboro, as well as there's a segment just for Seymour Johnson, the Family Y. You have the Arts Council, the Paramount,
Of course, the City of Goldsboro.
and City of Goldsboro. And I believe it's a work in progress.
Absolutely. But when I was looking at it recently, I was really interested to see how it breaks down into different categories like dining. So it breaks it down into restaurants, it breaks it down into hotels, all the different things that you would be interested in knowing about if you're outside the county of what you can do. And then when you're in the county, it breaks it down into events and the dates. It gives you basic information. So I think it's a great way to be able to share the information across the state, across the county. And we can look at it easily from our phone, walking down the street, sitting at our house. If we just want to know what's going on, pull out your phone, load that app, break it down, and look through all the different categories. And you'll continue to add things throughout the year. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll continue, and we have to be prepared to be able to educate all avenues.
Absolutely.
So we still do in print,
Absolutely.
as well as the app. And it's just a continual trying to get all the information out about Goldsboro, Wayne County to everyone we can.
Right. Well, thank you so much. This has been interesting to find out about all the activities we have to look forward to this year.
And anyone can check out our website. It's a work in progress as well. We're getting ready to do a major update, which you can visit our website at visitgoldsboronc.com.
And the City of Goldsboro has a Facebook page,
Yes.
which we share travel and tourism information on a daily basis. So if you'd like more information, check out the Facebook for the City of Goldsboro. You can also look at the Travel and Tourism website to find out what's going on around our community and the events we have and exciting things to look forward to throughout the rest of the year. So thank you, Betsy, for coming this morning, and thank you for joining us on WGTV.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.
And until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best.
Hope you have a great day.